With great love and great respect, I welcome you all with all my heart. Welcome, everybody, to our first session of the Morning Star Meditation Group, our weekly community, our meditation community. It has been a long time coming in putting together this group, and at long last, the time has come. Over the course of teaching courses on meditation for the last 5 or 6 years, we have found that there's a great power in meditating together as a group. These live group meditations give us both, both me as the facilitator and also you as the practitioner, gives you the opportunity to be able to enjoy this shared energetic space and to go very deeply into meditation, very effortlessly. And it's a real gift to all of us to be able to have each other to practice meditation with. So thank you, everybody, so much for being a part of this community. And I really look forward to walking this path with you and to exploring Yoga Nidra, Prana Vidya, and Antar Mouna with the component of Atma Vichara along with you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving me this divine opportunity to be your guide on this path. Thank you. Today, we are exploring the ancient and profound path of self-inquiry, Atma Vichara, and how it integrates with a structured meditative process known as Antar Mouna, which is a beautiful synthesis, a beautiful merging of two paths that I stumbled upon almost by accident. But we all know that there are no accidents, and this is all the divine will of Sri Guru, of the collective consciousness, of Lord Shiva, the Adi Guru, Adina, the first yogi, as this knowledge is being continuously revealed to mankind, constantly elaborating upon itself. That's one way of understanding Brahman, the absolute, is the constantly evolving consciousness. It never stops evolving and elaborating upon its own principles, which is why we cannot contain the truth. You cannot package it. You cannot bottle it. You cannot put a name on it or a title or a label. Because the minute that you think that you have it all neatly packaged, there's already something more. So this knowledge is constantly being revealed through you, through me, through all of us together as we continue to evolve as a species as well. So these two paths of Antar Mouna and Atma Vichara is what we are going to be exploring together every Friday. And when understood correctly, they form a complete approach. One provides the outer method, and the other provides the inner attitude, the inner approach. And together they cultivate both stillness and insight. Antar Mouna is the outer practices for cultivating inner silence. And in that inner silence, we can then take up Atma Vichara, self-inquiry, to really go deep into the exploration of the question that is perhaps the question that is at the heart of all of this knowledge, which is, who am I really? Who am I? So let's begin with self-inquiry, Atma Vichara. The way that these sessions are going to unfold, by the way, is we'll have about 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes of an introduction to the meditation that's to follow. And this 10 or 15 minutes of introduction is also, it gives you a little bit of time if you're running behind, if you're a little bit late, to be able to show up for the class. Because once the meditation begins, if you show up in the middle of the meditation, I'll still let you in, but you might not get the most out of it. So I really urge you, really recommend to try to not be more than 10 minutes late for these classes. So let's begin with discussing what is Atma Vichara. This is the direct path, the most direct method of turning awareness back on itself. Unlike other forms of meditation that focus on an object of the mind, on some kind of form, a deity, a chakra, a mantra, it is not focused on an object. It is subject-based meditation. It is asking you to transcend the mind altogether. That is, the inquiry centers on the one who is aware of the mind, the subject. The classic question is simple: who am I? But this is not meant to be answered intellectually. It's not a question for the mind. It is a tool for inward turning, a silent investigation into the source of this thing that we call I, the sense of self, the observer, the one who experiences. And the reason that we suffer is because we get that question wrong. We are identifying with the wrong parts who we are. All objects of awareness, thoughts, feelings, sensations, are not self. They come and go, but you are always you. But the witnessing presence does not change. It is not subject to change. Atma Vichara points you toward that unchanging presence. Importantly, self-inquiry is not about suppressing the mind or escaping experience. It is about observing everything with clarity. And in doing so, disidentifying from it. It is about resting as the awareness in which all experience unfolds. And how do we prepare the mind and the nervous system for this subtle yet simple act of pure witnessing? That's where the practice of Antar Mouna, inner silence, comes in. Antar Mouna is a systematic meditative practice that is millennia old. It's just as old as Vipassana meditation. In fact, it holds a lot of similarities with Vipassana meditation. And researchers aren't quite sure who influenced who. Is Antar Mouna influenced by Vipassana, or is Vipassana influenced by Antar Mouna? They seem to have developed around the same time, about 2,500 years ago. But this practice of Antar Mouna was really rescued from antiquity and obscurity by Swami Satyananda. And it was brought back into the modern light by Bihar School of Yoga, which is the mission founded by Swami Satyananda. So it is an incredibly effective preparatory and complementary path for self-inquiry. There's 6 stages that work primarily with the mind and senses. They are the external or objective dimensions of the work, clearing the way for deeper inner stillness and silence so that self-inquiry can give fruit. So let's just briefly go through each of the 6 stages. Number 1 is listening to sounds. In this stage, awareness is trained to observe external sounds without judgment or reaction. We simply listen, but we have to dissociate from our thoughts about the sounds and what their sources are, what they're stemming from. And this cultivates detachment and fullness of presence so that the withdrawal of the senses can begin. Pratyahara, the introversion of the senses can begin. And listening to sounds in this way, just the raw qualities and textures of each sound in the moment, helps you to stay focused in the moment. Step 2 is awareness of spontaneous thoughts, where we turn attention inward to the stream of spontaneous thoughts. And again, we do not suppress nor resist them. We simply observe. And we begin to see how the mind functions, how one thought gives rise to another, how memory and imagination play. And this stage builds the capacity to witness the mind without becoming entangled in the dramas and the stories of the ego. And it also gives a chance to be able to release that psycho-emotional tension. Instead of trying to force the mind to be quiet, which is a mistake that beginner meditators often make, we give the mind not only permission, but we encourage the mind to express itself, to ventilate. And it's like taking your child to the park and letting them run free, encouraging them to run a few laps around the playground. So that when they get home, they're ready to really nap. Stage 3 is the posing and disposing of thoughts, where you're going to remember and dispose of disturbing thoughts in order to keep those thought patterns that we have in our mind recently from coming back and interrupting us and interrupting our meditation. Here, you're going to intentionally recall any thought that has a negative charge to it, anything that you've been brooding on recently. And this is not psychological analysis, but it is an energetic release. You take a step back, you create this psychological distance where you become a silent witness to those thoughts. And by not indulging in those thoughts like you usually do from the ego's perspective, from that first person narrative, by stepping back and watching it as if they're not even your thoughts, as if they were someone else's, and letting those thoughts play out, we begin to dislodge emotional patterns and unconscious holding. You see it all in the light of neutral awareness, and deeper understanding matures. Now you can let it go. Now you can transcend it. And oftentimes it's not just for the meditation. You can really let those thoughts go and transcend them once and for all. So this is a deeply therapeutic process. In stage 4, we go even deeper. You go back to witnessing spontaneous thoughts, but you're going to illuminate them, take a step back, understand them, and then understanding them from the third-party, neutral, detached, silent witnessing frame, you can transcend them. So it's kind of like the previous stage, only instead of selecting thoughts, that we know that we've been thinking about a lot recently, you just become a silent witness and see what comes up spontaneously. But rather than like in stage two, which this is similar to stage two, spontaneous thought awareness, rather than just letting the mind go on and on and on and on expressing itself, you subject those thoughts to neutral awareness. You take that step back and become a silent witness. You say, oh, what is this thought now? What is my ego mind is trying to reassert itself? It's trying to rebuild identity, those I statements. I didn't like that experience. I don't like this. I do like this is according to me. What am I going to do now? Who is this I that the mind thinks it is? That's what we ask ourselves here in this stage. Every time the mind tries to create an I statement and tries to reconstruct identity, you illuminate it, you expose it, you peel the mask off of the ego and say, this is not the real I. This is not the real self. And this helps you to be able to transcend deeper thoughts that you might not have even been aware of, or you might have forgotten about. More deep-seated thoughts in the psyche and subconscious mind. Then in stage 5 is thought negation. This is where you can choose now not to think. Now we are ready to do what many people try to do in the very beginning. Beginner meditators try to just sit and not think. But there's a whole process we have to go through first, those first 4 stages. But now in stage 5, you can prefer to listen to silence. It's like my favorite analogy, which those of you who have taken my classes in Antar Mouna, you've heard me say a million times. It's like watching a TV show. And now all you want to do is turn off the screen. Now the only program you want to watch is no program at all. Just the blank, dark screen. And this is what allows us to go into deep Antar Mouna, deep inner silence. Whenever a thought arises, you just immediately negate it. You just say no. Not by force, but by non-identification. And this is where Atma Vichara comes in. Atma Vichara, self-inquiry. You say, this is not the real me. I don't want to wear another mask. I don't want to put on another outfit. I don't want to put on another disguise. I just want to be the raw self. So every time a thought comes up, you say, no, not this mask. And you go back to just that pure, raw witnessing. And in order to stay awake and one pointed, we need an object to focus on. The mind needs a vehicle to prevent slipping into unconsciousness, falling asleep, or jada, dull state of mind. And also to prevent it just coming back up to the surface and thinking about those daily thoughts. So we bring a symbol or internal focal point, such as the bindu, a light in the heart, your preferred personal symbol like the symbol Om, or in the context of self-inquiry, you can focus on the self, meditate on the self. You become aware of the formless, silent presence. Awareness is returned upon awareness. You become aware of awareness. And you focus on that formless, silent self, the seer. So these 6 stages are known as the external aspects of the meditation. Because even though they work with the field of mind and subtle experience, they still involve objects of the mind. And once the mind is sufficiently quieted and we are able to enjoy that stillness and silence through those stages, through the external stages of the practice, now self-inquiry. Once the mind has been stilled and silent and the witness consciousness is strong, we turn inward, not toward any content of the mind, not toward any objects of the mind, but toward the very source of awareness. And this is the internal part of the practice. So, in summary, and I apologize today, there's a bit more lecture than in our future sessions, just to give us a little bit of a introduction to the practices we're going to be enjoying and implementing. And the future introductory sessions will be about half this long. But in summary, Antar Mouna and self-inquiry work in harmony. Don't you think so? I really do. And Antar Mouna prepares the ground, clearing the mental noise, releasing emotion, stabilizing awareness. And self-inquiry points us home. Past thoughts, past witness into the heart of pure being, where you are not practicing awareness. You are awareness. You are not practicing silence or in silence. You are silence. Together they form a complete approach, outer silence and inner recognition. So ultimately, this is not a path of effort, but of recognition. And I really prefer that word more than realization. Recognition. When the veil of thought is thin and the habit of identification loosens, you discover that what you seek is what you already are. Pure, silent awareness. You are that. So go ahead and take this time, please, to come into your preferred meditation posture. Let your body settle, adjust as needed until you feel both stable and at ease. And bring your attention to your physical balance. Focus on the bisymmetry of the body. Feel how your weight is distributed, how the spine supports you, how the muscles of respiration flow effortlessly. Gently scan your awareness around the body. Bring awareness to areas of unconscious tension. Your jaw, your shoulders, your forearms, your abdomen, your thighs. Allow the body to come to rest and focus on stability. Begin to listen to the sound of your natural breath flowing in and out spontaneously. Allow the breath to become your guide. Settle into the breath. Allow the breath to find its natural residence in the body. Natural breath awareness. And begin to observe thoughts arising. Don't push them away. Simply become a silent witness. You are the observer, not the thinker. You are the one these thoughts are addressed to. Adopt the perspective of a silent witness. Now externalize your awareness and receive the raw textures of sound. Listen to all the various spontaneous sounds that come and go in the field of your awareness. Every sound appears within awareness itself. There is no outside. Allow your awareness to become expansive, open, dissociate completely from the source of any sounds. And just enjoy this spacious awareness. And now include the inner sounds, in the form of self-talk, as well as mental imagery, random abstract mental images in the space behind your closed eyes. Let all thoughts drift like clouds across the open sky of awareness. Do not attempt to resist or repress any thought. Simply remain a silent witness. Simply know what you are thinking. These thoughts are not who you are. They are temporary phenomenon arising within the space of consciousness. Practice presence. As the spacious awareness in which all of this occurs. Untouched, unshaken, quietly observing the play of consciousness without becoming it. There's nothing to fix, nothing to solve, nothing to judge. Now, in order to unburden the heart and to develop greater inner harmony, recall a thought, memory, or emotion that has weighed on you recently. Something that has lingered in your inner space. And gently invite this topic into the light of your awareness. And listen to the script that the mind runs in association to this topic, but as if from outside yourself. As if they were not even your thoughts. Stay rooted in silent witnessing and allow the mental imagery to play on the screen of the mind. Listen to the inner dialogue. And in this field of compassionate neutrality, this thought begins to reveal itself. You may begin to identify outdated thought patterns, limiting beliefs, and identity statements you no longer need to perpetuate. Notice how this thought begins to lose its grip over you, how it begins to dissolve, falling away like ripe fruit, leaving only the purity of awareness. Allow the remnants of that thought to dissolve away, returning to still witnessing. Awareness of expansive spaciousness. Fully accepting and embracing all perceptions, all sensations, like watching debris floating by on the surface of a river. And watch how the mind tries to reassert itself. Remain alert to when the mind tries to pick up another dominant thought. But do not repress it. Identify what the thought is. Notice it as an attempt of the ego to reconstruct a sense of self. And silently remind yourself, I am not these thoughts. I am not the thinking mind. Maintain fully expansive, choiceless, neutral awareness. Experience yourself as the light in which the play of mind happens. And begin to become aware of the clear awareness that never moves. And rest here in the fullness of presence. There is nothing to do. No one to become. You're not sitting in silence. You are silence. This silent awareness has no agenda. It has no preferences. This silent awareness is whole. It is beyond all conditionings. And its nature is peace. Your nature is bliss and contentment. Know that you are free and be happy. Experience yourself as fully expansive, silent awareness. Nothing can touch that formless, silent self that you are. You are becoming established in the awareness of your own quality as peace, bliss, and joy. You are that peace. You are that joy. Gently begin to notice your inner state. Notice the results of this meditation on your inner state of being. Sense the natural quality of your awareness, spacious, still, luminous, blissful, the source of all satisfaction. And bring this presence with you back to your breath. Back to your body. Feel the weight of your body against the surface beneath you. And start to re-invite graceful movement back into your body. A light stretch. Let the breath fill you. And sigh out gently. And when you're ready, rub your palms together to generate warmth. Gently place them over your closed eyes and let the heat soak in. Now open your eyes to end this meditation. The practice of Antar Mouna is now complete. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. As we conclude this session, remember that meditation is not an intellectual exercise, nor is it a temporary state. Meditation is a constant happening. It is a living invitation to return again and again to your own immediate presence. The steps of Antar Mouna help clear the path. But this process of self-inquiry helps for that recognition to dawn as you become increasingly more established in the unbroken awareness of your truth, as the unchanging awareness in which all these thoughts, perceptions, and sensations appear and disappear, like the blue sky, is never tainted by even the darkest thunderstorm. The blue sky always remains. Let that recognition settle in you gently, quietly, and live it through you beyond this practice. Does anybody have any comments or questions or anything you would like to share from your own experience? All experiences are valid. I hope everybody has access now to the new WhatsApp group for this community. Most of you are also, in fact, here, everybody is also in the Prana Vidya meditation group. But this community, which is focused on going deep into meditation, is a place where we can create a spiritual environment, a spiritual community, where we can bring up anything and everything, really. There's no expectations, there's no pressure. You can engage when you want. And you can also bring up whatever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing in these different stages of the path. You can ask questions or share your experiences on anything. You'll notice in the process of Antar Mouna, it's not all just rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. We are developing this internal immunity from the external world, but it's not by forcing it out. It's the exact opposite. You could call this radical acceptance, where you learn to embrace everything in your field of awareness and to bring it all onto the path without exception. Even those thoughts you try to ignore, even the things that have been bothering you recently, even those thoughts you may have been brooding on, it's all brought onto the path. Nothing is excluded. And that also is extended to this community as well. So not only myself, but others here are also experienced meditators, and everybody has something to offer, your own insights, your own resources as well that you can bring to the table. And so I welcome that. I'm not the only one who can answer questions. Anybody who feels like you have a resource to share or any light, any ray of light that you can bring into the world, into this community, you are most welcome to do so. I greatly look forward to continuing to walk this path alongside you. It is the greatest of all paths. It is the work of all lifetimes. Our next meeting is Tuesday, the 24th of June, in which we will be doing Yoga Nidra, which is our chance for deep, multidimensional relaxation and restoration. And then again, the 26th for Prana Vidya, and we'll be doing another Antar Mouna next week on the 27th. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your heartful participation. And as always, we end with an invocation for peace. Shantipa. Asato ma sadgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urva Rukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiya Mamritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. With great love and great respect, I welcome you all with all of my heart. Parvati Pataye, Hara Hara Mahadev. Sri Matre Namaha.